Unless you've been living under a rock, no doubt you are familiar with Pax Panic and the events she is currently going through. If not, it's her story to tell, not mine, but she is open about it if you need to play catch up. I'll have her channel linked in the description, along with everyone else mentioned throughout this tag. The Paxy Heart Tag was created by David's book reviews, and it was one that I immediately knew I would have to do. I've been more of a silent lurker of Pax's channel for a long time now, and this tag just felt right to do. So thanks, David, for getting this one started, and let's just dive right into it. Prompt number 1, No Shame. What is an extreme horror book that you're proud to own? Well, I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer this one. Extreme horror is something I'm just now dipping my toes into. Usually I lean more toward the dark, gothic side of things, but to give you guys something, I'm going to focus on the extreme portion of the prompt. The Girl of Dust and Smoke by Halo Scott has got to be the most extreme thing I've read in recent memory. I suppose it would be more of a thriller than horror, but some of the themes in the book push it to the extreme category, mostly how a young girl can take all of the abuse done to her throughout the years and wield it as a power over other people. This book constantly lingers in my mind and was one of my favorite reads of 2022. Halo Scott is an author that I can't wait to read more of, and from the things I've heard in interviews and reviews, The Girl of Dust and Smoke may just be one of her more milder pieces. Prompt number 2, Green Love. Name a strange and unusual channel you enjoy watching who strives to be different. Without a doubt, I'll have to agree with David's books reviews and go with the channel Bad is Rad 2. Between her different mask and makeup presentations, topped with a wild editing style that screams B-rate horror movie, Bad is Rad 2 is one of the most unique booktube channels out there. For me though, it's her personality and genuine friendliness that strikes me as different than many other channels. Bad is Rad 2 quickly skyrocketed to over 2,000 subscribers, and she still engages with each and every person that comments on her videos. She even reached out to me to set up a buddy read of My Dark Vanessa. Yeah, little old 65 subscriber me. But don't start slacking off, Bad. I have a strong feeling that Adam Rodriguez over at The Art of AWR is holding back on his theatrics. I do enjoy the banter between the two of you. Prompt number 3, The Tag Owl. What's a tag you felt you didn't do a good job with? Come on now, we should all have the same answer for this prompt. The BookTube Newbie Tag. I had no idea what I was doing, as if I do now, and hated being in front of the camera. That video was a large part of pushing me into mostly a faceless channel. That's something I'm still working on though, so we'll see how things progress. But yeah, I think everyone will have the same answer here. But it is fun to revisit channels' newbie tags and compare it to their most recent content. Prompt number 4, The Dead Poets Society. Who's your favorite poet? I've never been real big on reading a lot of poetry, but again, I'll have to agree with David on this one and go with Edgar Allan Poe. But on the other hand, hearing Namiria do readings of her own pieces is an absolute joy, and I think she is extremely brave in giving us a little glimpse into her soul. Her collection of poetry is on my wish list, and rest assured I'll be getting that real soon. Prompt number 5, Mrs. Horse. Who is your favorite sidekick or companion in a horror story? This was a hard question, and I didn't expect it to be. After putting a lot of thought into it though, I think I'm leaning toward Armand from Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles. The books do the character way more justice than his portrayal in film and TV. I found this character arc truly amazing, and it led up to him having his own novel in the series, where you really learn more about his background. Without spoiling too much, it was a wonderful character to follow from his time as a devout religious monk in training to a 500-year-old existence as a vampire. Armand can never fully shake his religious past, and his struggles with those ideas versus being an immortal damned soul is a contradicting whirlwind of emotions that only Anne Rice could create. Prompt number 6. The Burning Girls. What is the first novel you were recommended by a booktuber? That would have to be Below by Laurel Hightower. The channel Sin's Book Nook recommended this one, and it was the first booktuber to give a review of a book that seemed so intriguing to me that I jotted it down. I have yet to read it though, but Sin started me on the path of keeping a running list of books that sound interesting to me that I want to check out later. Since then, that list has grown to include recommendations from many other booktubers, but Sin's Book Nook was the first to recommend a book that reached out and grabbed my attention. Prompt number 7. Different is good. What's a novel you have enjoyed that's outside of the genre you usually read? I recently read My Dark Vanessa as a buddy read with Bad is Rad 2. I had jotted it down as a recommendation from Nemiria, but soon into reading it I realized that it was not the genre I had originally thought it was. Still though, I very much enjoyed the book and I don't regret reading it at all. Prompt number 8. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Name 3 new booktubers who you find entertaining. As far as new booktubers, Cliff's Dark Gems hit the top of my favorites list. In just 3 months on YouTube, I find myself agreeing with more of his recommendations than anyone else I follow. I make it a point to watch all of his material and have found my taste have more in common with the books and movies he discusses more than any other channel I've come across. Time with Books is another great channel with a large focus on horror. The channel isn't exactly new, but it's recently back after a long time off, and the channel itself was actually recommended by Cliff's Dark Gems. The most recent channel I found and make a point to watch everything they post is A Room for Stories. This channel is just a few weeks old, and although the channel focuses on a wider array of genres than what I typically read, in just 5 videos this channel has already made it on my notes as far as books they recommend that I'm interested in checking out. Prompt number 9. Tag some people. Well, since the theme of this tag relates to Pax Panic, I have a feeling that this tag will spread like wildfire on its own, so I'm not going to bother with tagging anyone specifically here. I'm sure many in the circle will already be tagged multiple times by multiple channels, so I'll just sit back and let the chaos sort itself out. If you haven't been tagged yet and find the prompts interesting, or if you're just a fellow supporter of Pax's battle, jump on it. I look forward to seeing everyone's own versions real soon.